अगले दिन सिर्फ एक ही प्रोग्राम कराया था, तो मैं उसको पहले रिपीट कर देता हूँ नेस्टेड लूप का. So this was kind of the program. So the pattern was 1 2 3 4 5, and then again 1 2 3 4 5, and again 1 2 3 4 5. So you have to write a program to print this pattern. So the two things that I mentioned was, one thing was in a nested loop. In a nested loop, whenever we will be using nested loop, there will be the concept of inner loop and outer loop. आउटर लूप एक होगा, उसके अंदर इनर लूप होगा. देयर कैन बी मल्टीपल इनर लूप. ओके, एक लूप के अंदर और एक लूप के अंदर और एक लूप. बट एट मैक्स यू विल हैव 3 लेयर्स. मतलब तुम्हारे सिलेबस में जो है, जितने भी प्रोग्राम्स है, वो एट मैक्स 3 लेयर्स ऑफ लूप्स यूज करेंगे. 3 इज वेरी रेयर. Most of the time you will encounter only two layer of loops, that is one outer loop and one inner loop. तो सबसे पहले जो करना होगा कि तुम डिटेक्ट करना होगा what will be our outer loop and what will be our inner loop. So in this particular program, you can see the pattern here. This is the pattern. So there are 5 numbers 1 2 3 4 5, and which is repeated 3 times. So outer loop counts the number of the number of times the pattern is repeated. So the pattern here, there are 5 numbers, right? Starting from 1 to 5. So these 5 numbers are repeated 3 times. So our outer loop will count the number of times the pattern is repeated. So that's why at the outer for loop, in nested loop, most of the time we will be using for loop. There are also cases where we can use while loop under inside a while loop. There may be another while loop. This is also possible. So any kind of loop we can use, but most of the time we will be using for loop to solve this kind of problem. So another important thing is that this is the loop that the outer loop will basically count the number of times the pattern is repeated. So here the pattern you can see is repeated 3 times. So this for loop will start from 1 and end at 3. So for that I have to write what? So int I equals to 1 comma not semicolon, I less than equal to 3 and I plus. You can use any variable instead of I. Most of the time we use I in the outer loop and J in the inner loop. So this is the outer loop. So now the second pattern starts. This is the body of the outer loop. This is the body of outer loop. Now inside this body of outer loop, we have to write another loop to print the pattern. Now we know this loop will take care of the number of times that the pattern will be repeated. So this loop will run how many times? Starting from 1 to 3, that means 3 times. So the whole thing, whatever there in the body, each and everything will repeat for 3 times. Now the inner loop. So now the inner loop will tell what is the pattern is. The main part of any nested loop program is to find the inner loop. Okay, the main part of or the most hardest part of any nested loop program is to find the inner loop. Most of the time क्या होगा कि तुमको outer loop मिल जाएगा, because दिख रहा है pattern ये होगा, तो repeat हो रहा है, ऐसे repeat होगा, but to find the inner loop is the most difficult job. So now here we can see that our numbers are starting from 1 and ending at 0 for all of the patterns, and all the numbers are consecutive. So we can simply write the inner loop as a loop where j starts from 1 and end at 5. And for each number, we can print that number. So int j equals to uh, 1, j less than equals to 5, j plus plus. And now the body of the inner loop. This is the body of inner loop. Okay, inner loop. Now in this body, I have to print this part, print the whole thing. So you can see that when this is actually will count, will take care of the pattern. So I have to just print the system dot out dot. Now here, mind you, don't write print ln, because what print ln does is it will, after printing one thing, it will the cursor will come to the next line. But we do not want that, because the whole pattern is on the same line. This is on the one line pattern. So I do not write here print ln. I write only print. And in the print statement, I have to print this j, because each and every time the j will increase, and I have to print that. So j along with what? Along with a space, right? Because there is a space also for each number. So j plus a space you can give here. So this is basically concatenation. Nothing. This is basically concatenation. So first the j, whatever the value of j will be printed, and after that a space will be printed. So this is the whole program for printing this pattern. So let me just briefly tell you how this works actually. Okay. So the execution of this, the method that I am going to show is the tree-based execution. Okay. Okay. Tree-based execution. This is basically for understanding. Okay. How to understand these loops are working and all, and for that you can use this method. So you see this program. You see this program, and this is basically what we'll be doing here is dry run. Okay. So this is also called dry run, which is a very important method in programming. If you do not know how to dry run, basically whatever code you write, you have to run the program by hand. You have to run the program by hand to see what is the output we are getting, and that's when you find the error. That's where you will find the error and you will correct it. Before running the program, writing the program in compiler and running it, executing it, you have to run the program by hand, which is known as dry run. So in each and every time you write a program, basically this kind of programs, nested loop programs, you have to do this process, dry running process, to check whether your program is correct or not. And this is the this is the part where the knowledge will come. Okay, if you skip this part and if you try to remember each and every program that I told or there is in a book, then you will never be able to solve a problem by yourself, because there are multiple thousands and millions of problems in nested loop, and no matter how many do you solve, it is not possible that you can that will come in the exam. So instead of doing that, focus more on this process dry run. So how to do that? So I am going to show the tree-based method, which is basically very easy here. So you are seeing that you first look at the outer loop. So this is the outer loop. This is the outer loop, and this is the inner loop. So first look at the outer loop and see what are the value that I is holding. First, look at the outer loop and see what are the value that I is holding. So I can be 1, I can be 2, I can be 3, and that's all. Because starting from 1, ending at 3, and each time it is increasing. So there are 3 possible values of I. Now, for each and every value of I, the body of the for loop will execute. So for value of for I equal to 1, let's say, initially, for I equal to 1, this loop will encounter, the compiler will encounter this loop. So it will, instead for I, this inner loop will execute. So how to write that? You put an arrow here. You put an arrow. So for I equal to 1, the inner loop has how many values? From j equal to 1 to 5. So j can be uh, j equal to 1 is possible, j equal to 2 is possible, j equal to 3 is possible, j equal to 4, j equal to 5. Understood? So for j equal to 1 now you see. So for I equal to 1 and j equal to 1, this statement will be executed, because for each and every time this loop will come, this loop starts from here and go again to the comes again. This statement will be executed, and this statement is what? Printing the value of j. So for I equal to 1, j equal to 1, what you will get? What you will get in the screen? 1 as output. Now for I equal to 1, j equal to 2, you will get what? 1, 2 as in the output, because 1 is already there. Now 2 is also printed with a space. With a space. Similarly, for j equal to 3, you will get 1, 2, and 3. So for j equal to 5, you will again get 1, 2, 3, and 4. J equal to 5, you will get 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4 space, 5 space. Because I am writing j plus space here. Understood? Similarly for j equal to 2 also. Similarly for j equal to 2 also. Sorry, not j equal to 2, I equal to 2 also. So I equal to 2, j will again will have 5 values. J will again have 5 values. And after printing up to this, for I equal to 2, j equal to 1, again 1 will be printed. So this part will be there in the screen. Whatever part that is up to there will be in the screen. After that, again you will have 1 space. And this will go on. So this part, I equal to 1, for I equal to 1, we have completed 1 repetition of the pattern. And for I equal to, at the end of j equal to 5, we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we will be having 2 repetition of the pattern. And similarly for I equal to 3, we will have j equal to 1, j equal to 2, and j equal to 5. And at the end of j equal to 5, we will have 3 repetition of the pattern. So that's it. That is our goal. That is our end goal. So we have completed the program that way. So when you write on this part and you see that at the end of it you are getting the final output. Now for sure your program is correct and it will give the correct result. And if there is any problem, then you can find it in this step. At any step there will be, if you write the wrong program, then you can definitely find it. So now after that, I will not explain for each and every program this guidance process, because that way each and every program becomes too much lengthy. Okay, so you have to just imagine how this loop is working. You have to imagine it, that this is way the program is working. But after completing the class, when you write the program in your home, please do dry run each and every program that you see on the boot or anywhere. Or if some problems I also will give as a homework. So please do dry run do repeat this process dry run. Is it clear?